Hello, everyone. It is Call. You are watching Talking Ball, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Jose. What's up, Jose? How are you doing today, my man?
Yeah, not bad. All the better for seeing you and for seeing our guests if they appear because they seem to have gone.
Hey, they'll be back.
Okay.
There's definitely 4 people watching, and to those 4 people, I just want to say big love. But yes, so we've got somebody in the back room, and there she is.
Yay!
The one that everybody, I'm sure, has been waiting for. Queen Elly is in the building.
Yeah.
What's up, Elly? How are you doing today?
I'm all right, and I'm bigging up my blue sofa for Brad Matthews.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love him.
that's perfect. Brad
Nice
Matthews is
guy.
a man. I hope everybody out there gets to know that guy because he is a real good dude. But yeah, it's really good to see you, Elly. It's been a while since we've had you on the show.
I know.
I know that I've missed you. I don't know about Jose. I don't know if he's missed you or not, but I sure have.
Yeah.
And
I've missed you both as well. Cosy.
Exactly.
Yeah, in her promotion, she's been putting down also known as Cozy.
We should. I think we should bring that. Yeah, let's definitely go with that. Go hard with it.
Yeah, I've done
Jose.
quite a good promotion today. I made it a little bit quippy.
But you can also look at Joko as well. Joko is short for Djokovic, isn't it? Joko.
All right.
Joko.
Yeah. I put also known as Joko.
Joko.
There you go.
AKA.
AKA. But yeah, so guys, we've got a special show planned for you today. Another edition of the beautiful Keeper West Ham. But we've been doing. I made another one in the vein of the one that we've done the last 2 days, where it's 3 players, keep, bench, sell to West Ham. And so I've got another one, and it's another very difficult one. So I just wanted to let everybody know. And I'm thinking of changing the mold, and I think I'm going to do that very first thing. And then we can actually, and then we can let other people as they come in. We can let them know if they need a replay of the video. We can definitely replay it. But we are jumping straight into the excitement.
We got to say hello to. We got to show first. Come on.
Todd Spurs, big up Call, Jose, Elly, and all. Collie Wally. Yeah, I don't know. I just was feeling silly with the name today. What's up, Ma? Good to see you. Steve D, afternoon, guys. And of course, Elly.
Yeah.
Daniel E says big up. Just saw you, Daniel. Just saw you. I'm glad you're here, man. Good to have you. Oh my God, and I need to talk to you about something. Getting cozy with Jose. Love it.
Koji, that's just Koji.
Yeah, it should be a SE probably. But yeah, afternoon says Dry Roast Peanut. Dry Roast Peanut, good afternoon to you.
I love that name.
It's actually one of the best. Just a girl who loves Spurs. Big up Jose and LA. That's how I'm reading that at least. Big up Kate. Glad to see you. Hope you are well. Saw you in gym a bit earlier.
She's been invited on the Big Six for tonight.
Oh,
so she's going to be strutting her stuff. She's going to be strutting her stuff for Tottenham. Come on,
represent. Do us proud. I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Yes. Audio Artisan, the one, the only Audio Artisan, says afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon to you, sir. Dan asked if I'm on the Icardi train. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Look at this banner. I made it earlier. I'm not kidding you at all. It says I'm on the Icardi train, and I am. But anyway, we'll get back to that. Sorry, I cut off. Nita R. Hi all. Hi Nita. Glad to have you here. Nita R is here, everyone. And 5 p.m. on Football Terrace, and you're nervous. Don't be nervous.
Is that not the channel you were speaking to the children the other day?
Yes.
Yeah. I watched the channel that she spoke to the kids.
Yeah. Just be yourself, because that's you're a smart person, and it comes off. So just be yourself. You got this. This, homie. But everybody, be sure to tune in and check that out. Question, as always, this is a question on the show. What is Jose? What are you eating right now, sir?
What is that?
Can't see. We can't tell.
A gelatin ice
Oh,
push-up lolly thing.
Is it the lime flavour?
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
the lime flavour.
Nice.
I had cola, lime, and I got orange.
Nice.
They all sound delicious. Absolutely.
I love what these ice push-up lollies. I love them.
Yeah. Tolero's
I'm
nice
jealous.
as well.
I'm jealous. We don't have those. But anyway, guys,
Nothing. Okay.
let's jump into one that I think is going to be really tough for you guys. I'm just really excited to get it out there. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to Keep or West Ham, the internet's favorite Tottenham game show, where we choose Tottenham players. We make you decide whether you're keeping them or sending them to West Ham. Recently, we've put a slight twist, allowing you to, bench a player. We give you 3 instead of 2, and today it's going to be tough. I promise you that. I've been hyping it up, so let's just unveil it.
Oh no!
It's Eriksen, Moussa Dembele, and Dele Alli. And this is all in their primes. I'm going to put up the banner here too.
Yeah.
So it is it's in their primes. That's important for you guys to know. In their primes. Apparently I didn't say there we go. So keep, bench, sell all players in their primes. And that's in their primes. I mean, at Spurs, I think all these players reached their prime, I think, in a Tottenham shirt. So that's one thing to remember. There was
I've got this
overtime with all 3.
I'm going to go last on this because this for me is super easy. Sorry to say.
Even if you consider them in their primes, because I feel like you're going to say sell Dele, but I feel like
you don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just saying for this one for me is super easy. That's all I'm going to say. And I haven't seen this till now, but now that I'm looking, as soon as they've come up, I've looked at it, and within about 5 seconds, I've just thought, he's staying, he's benching, and he's going straight away. Within 5 seconds, I've said it.
Dang, Elly, I wonder, was it that easy for you as well, or are you having a harder time? I thought this would be a tough one. It's not
for me.
Okay,
But
well, at least I didn't totally fail.
I love all 3 players in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's so hard.
Did different things for the team.
It would be a bit more easier, but they're not. They're 3 different players.
Absolutely. 3 players, though, that were at one point integral to our midfield.
Right. I've made the decision though in my head.
The players are not. You haven't got the players on the screen again. You've got to put the players on the screen again.
Yep, there they are again. It's Christian Eriksen, Moussa Dembele, and Dele Alli. Everybody, I'm excited.
Prime.
Yep, in their primes. Let's see.
Right.
So real quick, just to go through the comments. Mom says, "Wow," I'm assuming she thinks that's difficult. Steve D says, "Easy start then," and I love it. Love that. Daniel Lee says, "This hurts me because Dele is my guy. Milton Keynes born, but he's going. Moussa is benched, and Eriksen is getting peaked." Wow. So we'll see Dele in a West Ham shirt if it's up to Daniel. What else we got here? Steve D. Hardest game in the world for Elly. Loves all Spurs players. Love it. Love it.
Well, except for Eric Dyer.
Maybe Tanji down the way.
I don't hate any of our players.
Even Tanji?
No, I don't hate him. I feel sorry for him because
Me
he should
too.
have fucked up his ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we've got Todd Spurs. Keep Dembele, midfield general. Bench Eriksen, quality passer of the ball, and send Dele to up and down. So shipping Dele off as well. That seems. Mom points out, rightly so, that we kind of have matters doing the Eriksen thing, and then Dembele is the GOAT, so keep him. Wow. So she's saying that Eriksen goes, I think, in her mind. So that's a good one. That's where I would go with it. Also, Erickson wanted to fuck off to a better team or whatever, and so he can just go ahead and go and win trophies with West Ham, win the Europa Conference League with West Ham. But yeah, so okay, we've got some answers from the chat, and I just want to say, first of all, big up to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. You've got so many places you can spend your time, but you're spending it here with us. And I also wanted to say thank you to Elly, our wonderful guest
You're
for the
welcome.
day.
I love being here as well.
She is the best. So we're in a good spot. But yeah, you guys, I need to hear your keep bench and sells. And we can start with Jose, half of Jose. Oh, okay. He says start with LA.
Start with me. Okay. Well, it's very hard because they've all got given something to Spurs.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm gonna keep Dembele. Right. And the reason why I'm keeping Dembele, because he was a G. He was the ultimate midfielder. The only thing he lacked was goals, but I forgave him that because he created.
He's so good at
many.
everything else.
So selfless. He was a team player, right? Which the other two, they didn't really. They weren't team players. They were like flair players. I don't know. I just find that Dembele just had that extra bit of team play, and he was so dynamic in midfield. He was like a beast. You couldn't get the ball off him, whereas Ericsson and Dele you could, right? And although they scored a lot more goals than him, I'm putting him ahead of them just for his skill set and his team play, and just for his monster. He is the GOAT in my eyes. I loved him. I really did. When we got him from Fulham, I was celebrating, right? But the other one, I would keep Dele. I'd actually keep Dele because he had so much prospect, right? And he lived up to it for 2 seasons. And then we know subsequently that he's had a lot of problems, and we knew about his background with his family and things like that. That all came out in the dirty washing, didn't it? So I'm going to keep him because I think, although Ericsson was a ball passer, like he could pin a pass and blah, I just think I just think Dele had that extra bit of magic, that made me get off my seat. Whereas Ericsson, he was more like a passer of the ball. He had great vision, whereas Dele, he had that killer instinct to get in the box. And the goal against Crystal Palace and the goal against Chelsea.
Oh my God, yes.
It was amazing. He's got so much talent. And it's uncapped talent as well that we could have seen more of. That's why I'm voting him ahead of Ericsson, because I think his ceiling was higher if he lived up to that first 2 years that he gave us. Yeah, there you go.
No, agreed. That's a great answer.
Mate. You're going to go and win the Conference League with them.
There we go. Exactly. He won't be trophyless. He'll go and he'll get one.
Disagree with me, but that's my choice.
I think I like it because I just want to say real quick.
Who are you sending to West Ham?
Ericsson.
Okay. All right.
And another reason is I feel like that type of player is more common than the type of player that both Dele and Dembele, they were each of them were more unique in their play style and harder to replace, I feel like, than an Ericsson is. But we have to let our general half of Jose, we had to let him go and get his.
I'm interested to hear now.
Yeah. I'm keeping the GOAT.
Yes.
Dembele, baby, yes.
Dembele's being kept all day long. And what I will go and say, even though it's a small sample size, Dembele would still get in over Basuma at the moment at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Dembele.
More of a baller.
We need. Well, if Boss can keep his form up and keep it for the next 2 or 3 years, he'll rival Dembele. Near enough to rival Dembele. The way Dembele's strength, where he could hold off and get out of tight situations with 3 players around him and make it look so easy. And players used to just go, you know, when you play the pinball and the ball bounces, it goes. That's what people used to do. Going to Dembele, and Dembele used to walk away with the ball, and everyone was going like that, flying off him. He was a goat, and in my eyes, he has to stay. There's no 2 ways about it. He stays completely.
Do you have an important call?
No, I'm going to leave it. The person from work, sorry, it's from work, but I'm going to leave it. The person that I would bench is Dele Alli, because we're talking about players in their prime. In his prime, Dele Alli was unplayable. Dele Alli came up with goals, assists, forged in no time at all. Forged that partnership with Kane. So he was a 10 off Kane, weren't he? Forged that partnership. And he would score goals. He would run people ragged, you know, and he was a box-to-box player. He used to do the defensive work. He used to do that side of the work, but then he also used to score goals as well. So for me, if we're looking at prime, then for me in their prime, I'm keeping Dele. The only reason why I'm benching him. The only reason why I'm keeping the goat over him is because I don't believe that I think we've had a player before Dembele or after who's been as good as Dembele in that position that I can remember.
But have we had a player that plays in the same position as Dele since he left? I mean, he was such a weird. He was almost like a Thomas Müller type of player. I don't feel like we even have had. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying we haven't. I'm not saying we haven't. I'm saying with Dembele, the reason why I'm keeping Dembele is there and keeping him and not benching him, because equally they both did excellent things for us in their prime. But for me, Dembele, I could go back 10, 15 years and I can't remember us having a player like Dembele before after Dembele's left. I don't think we've had a player like him either. He is one of them players that you're going to say is irreplaceable. We've never had a player like him. We haven't had a player like Dele Alli before or since, so to speak. But for Dele Alli, he gets on my bench. The person that I'm sending to West Ham is Eriksen. Would Eriksen, and I know it's a small sample size, does Eriksen get into your team over Maddison?
No.
That's why I'm sending Eriksen away then to West Ham, because Eriksen,
Maddison's got even more skill.
Yeah, although he
drives forward better. I mean, more aggressive. Yeah.
Although he did well for the club and whatever, right? He hasn't. Although he did well for the club and in his prime, he's a good player in his prime. Although it did take him a few.
But he was being protected. He was being protected by Dembele and by other players. You know what I mean? I feel like when you're playing next to guys like that, you can be. He wasn't as strong on the ball, or he needed to be protected. I feel like in a way that Maddison doesn't, and he was with the guys he played with. But do you agree that's part of the problem? He was, you know what I mean? He needed a certain amount of protection from the other midfielders. Once Dembele left, he didn't look nearly as good, in my opinion. But I didn't mean to cut you off so hard. Sorry about that.
So basically, the keep, bench, and sell. And Jim's just joined, so you might want, and so's Mia, and so's Rakesh has come in as well. So, and all their artisans. So you might want to put it back up again for the keep, bench, and sell. Elly, I'm with you. We've gone through exactly the same thing, more or less the same reasons type thing.
Yeah, and
we all three had the same one.
He was the youngest player to get to 50 goals in the Premiership. So, like, Eriksen never did that, and I know he scored goals, but sometimes he flattered to deceive. Whereas Dembele, when you say dominated midfield, he actually dominated it. You know, with a big D. Yeah. I never saw Eric dominate the midfield. Eriksen, he never dominated like Dembele did. It's like a master.
Yeah. No, great answers. It's funny. I think we all three chose the same answer.
Did you go for the same thing, Colin? Did you?
I did. Okay,
fair enough.
So let's go through some comments here though and see what we got. It looks like the last one that I put up was Daniel's saying that, you know, even though they're both Milton Keynes boys, that he's sending Dele. Steve D says, you know, we've never replaced Eriksen until Maddison, so that's why he chose him over Musa. Yeah. Steve was talking about how this one was tough. Keep Dembele. He never gave the ball away in midfield. Dele bench. Eriksson, he left anyway, says Nito R. Boom. Mom says Dele was figured out. No one could bully Dembele. I'd say Eriksson can be back up to Madison. Keep Musa. Bench Christian. Sell Dele. Wow. Okay. He did kind of get figured out a bit. Dembele would be the first name on the team sheet in this squad, says Audio Artisan. Do you guys agree before we continue? Do you think he'd be first name on the team sheet?
100%. He's on my list. Right, I'll put Dembele. Sorry, Dembele. He's on. No one's pushing him out.
Yep. Rakesh, what's up, Rakesh? Rakesh, probably. And if I pronounce anything wrong, I sincerely apologize. Just correct me and I'll fix it. But Rakesh, boom.
Yeah.
So all these talks about it's a cool name. It's a very cool name. Jealous. I got a boring one. But all these talks about Ange Ball and Madison being best and one of ours will go up in smoke if Sonny stops scoring. Crying face. Hopefully other people in the team would pick up some slack there. But Daniel, he says, are people forgetting all these last-minute 30-yard finishes that Eriksson done for us? His 2 free kicks in one match against Swansea as well. Daniel, very good point. There used to be people used to say the late show with Christian Eriksen and make all these memes about it because he would bail us. He would bail us out of games, Gareth Bale style, with last-minute goals a lot. So he was an important figure in some of those Poch teams for sure, big time. Make no mistakes. I love all 3, says Julie Sievers. Mom. We all do. And then Steve D says Gaza. We were talking about a player. You were talking about a player that has been in the team or what I mean, or we've had since that was as good as Dembele. And I think
Hoddle was probably he's Dembele, but with goals and assists. But
Dembele was a 6. Gaza and Hoddle weren't 6s. Gaza and Hoddle weren't 6s. Dembele's an ultimate 6. Ultimate 6.
Yeah, he was more defensive midfielder, Dembele. Yeah, but what I mean is like he was majestic like Hoddle. He reminded me the way he held the ball and just sprayed it and glided across the pitch effortlessly, and he was a joy to watch. Yeah.
And when I said I'm going back 15 years before,
we can't think of one.
But going back 15 years
was
before,
an 8, weren't he, or a 10?
If we're going back 15 years, we're only going back to the year 2000 because we're in 2023 already. And going back to then, Gaza played 10 years before that. So, I do understand, Steve D. Gaza was a totally wonderful, great player, generational player, in fact, as well. But didn't play. He didn't play. He was more like an 8 or a 10, Gaza. Yeah. Where Dembele's an out-and-out 6. So in my eyes, anyway.
Yeah, he is. He's like a player who will pick it up from defence and drive forward like Basuma does. Yeah. But even Basuma, he's an 8, isn't he? He's not a 6, I suppose. Because he's more forward, isn't he? Than back.
Yeah, he's more of an 8. It was more of an
8. Yeah, he's more of an 8. And Star plays the 6 role, doesn't he?
But he's been doing a lot of 6 duties as well. They've been swapping it between them, haven't they?
Yeah. They're very good players together, Sarr and Basuma.
Yeah, that's why I think everyone says, that Bentancur is going to walk right back into the team. I don't know. I think it's Basuma's spot to lose now. The partnership they formed is
fully fit Bentancur, who's fully fit. Right, the essential part is fully fit. Right,
yeah,
a fully fit Bentancur walks into the Tottenham team.
Yes, he does. Especially after I see that worldy goal he scored in training. Bloody hell!
I just want to see him.
If Bentancur's fully fit, Bentancur, Basuma, Madison, boom, you have got a majestic midfield. Sorry, Sar's done well, but he ain't Benny.
So well. I think put him in. Give him a half. Give Basuma a half, and if he shows, because I feel like you were talking about not earlier, but yesterday, I think that 10 minutes with 10-minute cameo. That's not enough time to showcase anything. So give him a half and see how he does. But yeah, I think that Sarr hasn't done anything to lose the spot. And in fact, he's played better than a lot of these really expensive midfielders for other teams.
Yeah.
So we can
I don't
we can get Elly's take on it. So what I said earlier, I don't know whether you caught what we were saying yesterday or the day before even. I was saying that people are saying, oh, we ain't got squad depth and we ain't got this, that, and the other. And I said, well, when we made the substitutions against Fulham, we were enforced to make 2 of them because of knocks. So we had to make 2 of them.
Yeah.
But then we made the other 3 in one hit in the last 10 minutes, although there was 10 minutes plus 7 minutes of extra time. But in the 80th minute, we replaced 3 players. The 3 players we replaced were Lo Celso, Brennan Johnson, and Veliz. And what I turned around and said is that people are hammering, saying we haven't got squad depth. And I said, statistically, if you were to have a look at substitutions that are made, I said, did I say 80 or 90%, Colin?
I believe it was just 80.
I said 80% of the substitutions you make won't have no effect. So if you look at substitutions that are made like for the last 10 years or whatever, not just Tottenham, but any substitutions that are made, 80% won't affect the match, right?
Yeah.
Where only 20% will. So by giving someone 10 minutes, it doesn't give them much time to affect any change whatsoever. And we were actually bolting down, weren't we? Because we had a 2-0 win. We were actually bolting down, so we weren't really attacking them and stuff like that. So I think people were being harsh, saying, "Yeah, but we ain't got squad depth and that," because it's horses for courses when you come on. So what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, because
how long would a player need?
I saw quite a few positives from the men that came on. I don't know what other people saw, but I saw Emerson Royal done a fantastic block.
Yeah.
He was pretty good in defence. The only thing when he comes forward, he just forgets he's a Brazilian boy.
He's not. I've said that Richarlison and Emerson, we need to check their passports.
Yeah, we've got to check their passports. Lo Celso did all right. He wasn't brilliant, though. But Veliz, he was getting himself about. Listen, it's 10 minutes. It wasn't going to... Look, they did come on to us in the last 20. So before they even came on, I think Andrew's thinking, we've got to shore this up. And Maddison and Sonny need the rest because they're carrying... Maybe Maddison's not carrying a knock, but he needs to preserve him. And Sonny's definitely carrying a knock. You can see it. Udogie went off. So no, I thought he'd done well to substitute those players. And we kept on the 2-0. That's the main thing, you know. Yeah. So I just thought we'd done very, very well. Because they were coming strong, weren't they, Fulham? They were.
Definitely. If they were ever going to score, that last 20 minutes was the time that they were going to do it. So, but if you were going to put a substitute on and you wanted to see what they could do, what do you think the minimum amount of time is? Like a half? You think if a player was given a half, do you think you could judge them that? Yeah, to affect the match and showcase their.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many minutes you get. What I'm saying is that if you look at it statistically over the last 10 seasons. I think out of all substitutions that are made, 80% don't affect a match. It's only 20% that do. And what I mean by 20%, either you score a goal, you make an assist, save a penalty, miss a penalty, score a penalty, make important blocks, interceptions, critical passes. When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I'm saying that 80% don't affect the match in general.
Right.
And only 20% do is what I'm saying. But it doesn't matter whether you get half an hour as a replacement, 15 minutes of replacement, 20 minutes as a replacement. It all depends because all matches are different. Some players are from the opposing side. You could come on for the last 20 minutes. They're absolutely bushwhacked. They've got no more substitutions that they make. They're absolutely bushwhacked. You could come on for 20 minutes and absolutely terrorise them. You could come on as a substitute at half time in a really tight game, right? And you keep that game tight, but you haven't really affected anything. All you did is you defended well, or you stopped the other team from scoring away. But so what I'm saying is 80% of it doesn't affect.
Yeah.
The outcome of the match. Right. No, I understand. I just think that's probably an average, and that probably skews a bit higher toward, you know what I mean? The players that have longer probably have a higher chance of affecting the match, but like on average, I don't know. Could be wrong. Could totally be wrong. I just feel like arguing with you, Jose.
You're good at that.
You know what? It all depends who you're coming on against as well, who you're going to be facing. You know, like if you're coming on against Luton with 20 minutes to go, you've got more chance to affect the game than if you're coming on against Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea, because they're the 4 teams that have been performing the best on average across the board for the last 10 years. Yeah. So it all depends who you're coming across against. Sorry.
Right. So, right. Let's just catching up with the chat.
There's a lot of love in the chat right now.
Mia saying big up.
Yeah. Big up, Mia.
Jim has come in.
Jim, hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling well.
Colin Jose and the Queen, but he's got a nice comment later on, which I'm going to come to. Rakesh says Maddie is way too arrogant.
I love the arrogance that he plays with, Rakesh. I fully respect your opinion, but I think that arrogance is part of why he's so good.
He knows he's landed on his feet. He's got the right manager, and the ball, the world's at his feet at the moment, and he's got the bollocks to do it. So fair play is what I say.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can be arrogant if you're good.
I think under Postecoglou, I think he's more happy. He looks more happy in himself. He doesn't come across as arrogant. He knows that he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's enjoying his football. It shows, you know.
And he likes to wind people up, and that's fine. I think that's good. You need a bit of that.
And we've had a few of them in our team over the years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Mia's keeping Dembele, benching Eriksen, and selling Dele.
Okay.
All right, fair. I can understand that.
There's love being shown all around the shop at the moment. Steve D. Dembele had the best chant.
I wish. Oh, Musa Dembele.
Oh,
Musa Dembele. Yep.
Oh, Musa
We've got a really good James Madison chant. That needs to start going around the grounds.
Jim's come in and Jim says keep Dembele, bench Elly and sell Eriksen.
Yes,
which I think is what the panel have done.
Yep. He probably didn't even know. Nice job, Jim. We all said the same thing. Why is my
ex-wife barking in the background?
That's perfect. That's great. There she was again. Adrian, good afternoon, Adrian. Hope you are well.
Adrian's also said a doggy is the only doubt for Palace away. Bentancur started full training, but then he's made a further comment which we'll come to. This is one for you, Elly. Elly, do you live in a castle? You never stream from the same place twice.
You know what I thought? Because my cat comes on the table a lot, my pussy cat, and he disturbs me sometimes. But today he's asleep, thank God.
Thanks to cat gods that the cat is asleep today.
Plenty of love in there again, and then you've got Nita. I believe that changes will happen a lot because Angie's still tinkering with the team.
And that might have been in reference to the switch between Sar and Bentancur. I tried to roll my R there. I shouldn't do that. I can't do it.
Mia is saying that I read that she's reading that Destiny was just a bit of muscle strength and he would be fine. And then Adrian's agreeing. Mia, I read it was only tiredness.
Yeah.
Mum's saying Madders is funny. He's confident but not arrogant. He's cheeky but has a good laugh at himself too, which he does.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that completely.
Jim is singing with both of you two because you both sang in tune. I can just imagine you go, oh, Musa Dembele, and then Ellie's coming in, oh, Musa Dembele, and then Jim's coming in, oh.
I'm sure it was beautiful and a nice moment to share across a wide. We're far away, but we got to share that moment together. So
I can do nice. The James Madison song. I can impersonate you as well.
Oh God!
My team's got James Madison.
Yes.
James Madison is what we need. Whoa.
That's really good American. Like you sounded just like me. That was great. I'm thoroughly impressed. No, that was wonderful.
You sound more like a rock star than Carl does.
You do. You really do.
You know what? My husband's a heavy metal, heavy rock fan.
Oh,
so
nice.
We often sing in the car, heavy rock style.
So you've had practice.
I've got used to it.
Okay, yeah, no, absolutely, I get it.
And my Angela's got the hair for the head banging. because she's got like a mop of hair. Oh,
I don't, unfortunately.
it's
That's
all
why I got
right.
the cap. But yeah, I got
Yeah.
this rocking beard. It's pretty metal, pretty hard rock.
You've got the heart for the rock. Yeah.
Exactly.
Adrian is asking you, Elly, will Ange start with Højbjerg instead of Bissouma?
No, that's a straight answer. Why would he? Because Bissouma's a better player, or much better player.
Do you think that Ange is going to have a word with, or will he let Boss go out and do his thing? Or do you think he might have a word with him before the game? Or do you think Ange doesn't care and Ange is just going to play your game? Because the game after this, we all know is Chelsea. And we know he's carrying 4 yellows at the moment.
Yeah.
So 1 yellow tomorrow.
No, I think you'll just say, go out and enjoy yourself, Bissy. Just don't do anything silly. Don't do anything like feigning.
Don't dive.
Don't dive, you know. Just go out there, enjoy your football. You know what you can do. Just go and do it.
Because it's annoying. What's annoying, and it's annoying later on down the line for people, and especially for the players as well, is that 2 of the 4 yellows he's got were for what do they call it when you argue, when you don't agree with the referee? Dissent, right? Yeah. So 2 of his 4 yellows have been for dissent. So
I find that really strange because he's like a happy-go-lucky character. You'd think he'd let it ride, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think so, but
he's got that sort of personality. At the end of the matches, he's amazing. Like he's dancing and he's looking at
interacting
people in
with
the crowd,
fans.
interacting. It's such a joy to watch at the end of the matches. And obviously, he's doing the business on the field as well, isn't he?
Sorry, Jim's just put in the chat. We're not there yet. That he's got to go. He'll catch us later. I presume he's going to go and watch Kate. So
of course.
Good luck, Jim, and say good luck to Kate for us as well.
Yep. Please do, Jim.
Yeah, go on, Jim. Support your Kate.
So that it's annoying. He's got 2 of his yellows. Elly have been for dissent, and now that he's got 4, he's 1 away from getting a ban. And we in the long run, I just think to myself, was it worth arguing? If the referee's given saying he ain't going to change his mind, is it worth arguing? And it's not even arguing; it's when you run at the referee. And if you're the 3rd person, because everyone says if you run in 3s, the 3rd person gets the card. So we should just make sure that he's in the first 2 if he's going to run at the ref, and don't be the 3rd.
I know. Just stay away from the ref, full stop.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with
Some
that.
of them are they're just like little idiots, the referees. They just like they just like to get their yellow card out for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But the players are dumb too. What do they want to achieve? What do they ever hope to achieve? When has a referee ever been like, you know what? No, like you're right. You've convinced me. I'm going to rescind this yellow card I just gave you. You know, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's really not worth it at all.
No.
So you've got "Sing It, Elly" from Mum when you was doing the song. You've got Jim saying "Lol, Elly." Mum saying that. Oops, it comes up. Ange loves Biss.
He does.
He does. That is true. There's a lot of love there.
And she's also saying further down the chat, she's saying that Ange would
zip it.
Zip it, yeah.
Zip it, Biss. Yeah.
Need to ask coming. We know most of the players that will start again, but we need to keep backup players till Jan, and hopefully we'll ship out and bring in at least 2 decent players.
Nita, who would you bring in? Do you have anybody in mind? Just out of curiosity.
We asked this yesterday, though. You asked the question in a roundabout way. You said if we had £80 million, and you could bring in a player, or you could spend that on a player, because you said your word was a player on a signing. Who would you bring in? And they've got to want to come as well. Who would you bring in? Because what you was trying to find out yesterday was what the chat was saying to inform you is, do they think are we going for more defenders? Are we going for midfielders? Are we going for attackers? What are we going for? And the general consensus seemed to be yesterday that a lot of people wanted to go for a left-sided centre-back or a left-footed player that could play centre-back or left back yesterday. That's what we got. But the clever people answering the question, I being one of them that did it before the show started, I said, but if you gave me 80 million, Cole, I'd be buying at least 3 And
that's what Ange would do as well, wouldn't he? because he doesn't like
100%.
big, expensive players. He goes for really good players, but they're cheaper. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, once he knows that he can mold into his image, sort of like Pochettino,
Yeah.
Højbjerg knows his job, so he's all right for now. So is he the only person you're picking, Nia? Because Colin said to you, who would you start?
I think Højbjerg definitely has played admirably his last two outings. His long passing has been on point. He's looked good. Better going forward.
In all honesty, right? It's not because Elly's here. In all honesty, I'm going to say that Højbjerg this season hasn't put a foot wrong in any of the games he's played in. Simple as.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
No.
He hasn't put his foot wrong at all.
He's been the
ultimate professional, and he hasn't put a foot wrong at all. So he's played admirably all the way through.
And you know what? He could have. He done a really good shot. It was just a bit more too much central, but it was still a good shot. And then he busted his gut on the right-hand side to get through, and Kulu muffed it. He didn't get it to him. And he would have scored easily because he was clean through. He ran 35, 40 yards to get there as well. That's what... He's in my book, he's an unsung hero. Right, because I love his commitment and his dedication and his professionalism. He's not the most fancy player. That's why he's like Marmite, isn't he? You either love him or hate him. He splits the fan base.
If he's like Marmite, no one will go near him on the pitch because he stink.
Elly, weren't you a midfielder?
No, she was a can. She was a can.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was wondering if maybe there was a little bit of love for Højbjerg because you guys played a similar role, but it sounds like you were a bit more advanced on the pitch than he was.
The reason why I like him, right, because he's the sort of player I would like by my side because I know he's got my back. I know he's not going to let me down. If I lose the ball, which cams, you can lose the ball, because you're taking risks, whereas solid players like Højbjerg, they don't take risks, and that's why he splits the fan base. Not only that, because they think he can't pass, but if you look at his stats and you look with your eye, you realise he can pass, and he kept it very simple against Fulham, but then when he needed to pass, he passed it really well. He's done 3 really good passes, long ball passes.
Diagonals.
I probably watch him more closely than other fans. That's why.
Yeah.
I've got my eye on you.
Something special there. Well, I'm glad he's performing and living up to the expectations that you've got.
My husband likes him as well. That's the main thing.
There you go. He's got the husband's approval, and then you're good to go.
And he's a CPR fan as well.
You've got Steve D coming in with, Ange has never had the opportunity to buy expensive players, to be fair. And I've got a response to that, but I'd let you both go first.
Yeah, I think he likes players that are not not so much the money. I don't think he likes the hype of a player. He wants to scout a player that's got good character, that he knows can fit his system and knows that he can play his style, rather than the money factor, Okay. But if a player was 60, 70, 80 million and he was in his remit of the type of player he likes, he won't, like, if we've got the budget to do it, he'll ask for the money, 100%, if that's the type of player he wants. So I don't think it's the money that's the problem. I think it's the type of player that he wants.
One of your supporters has just kind of made a comment.
Hey, whoa!
Yeah, I know, Nick.
It's Barry.
Nick, you should be on my side because Emerson Royal gets the same stick, probably even more. So you should be on my side, mate.
Barry, I haven't seen you in ages. Very, very nice of you to drop by the show. Please, Nick, please just come back and join us some more. Be in the chat. It's always good to hear from you. Always good to see you.
Yeah.
Nicholas Collison, aka Barry, aka Ranjit. He's a good man. Yeah, and is it warranted? Right, so yeah, no.
Going back to this, right? If I can say, right, Steve D, I understand what you're saying. and I totally agree with you. He probably hasn't had the kind of finances in other clubs that probably Tottenham can have at their disposal. However, the way that I now look at this, right, is does the panel, do you guys think that the days of big money signings, the 50, 60 million players, do you think them days are being phased out? Not just at Tottenham, but everywhere else? Because if everyone's looking at this new model of doing stat-based, then surely you're paying less, or it's been proven in the past that you've paid less for a stat-based player who's gone on to do well, then you're selling for a lot more. But the only thing that concerns me now is that a lot of people are going down this route, which to me means that the gems are going to be harder to find because a lot more people are going to be in the pot for them. And it's also going to drive up their prices. What do you reckon?
100%.
I agree with you. Yeah, I do agree with you, Jose.
On what part?
The second part for sure.
There's always a gem that you can pick up that costs you not next to nothing, but much less than the going rate. So I think Postecoglou will be scouting these players out that he can get for maybe 20, 30 million pound less, right? But are just as good, and they've got prospects, and he can see the type of player that player would fit in his system, and can play his type of football. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely, but I do think that you're right on both counts, really, Jose.
No, I'm just wondering. I'm just asking, what do you think? Do you think that's the way that we're going? Because
I do.
Yesteryear, we used to pay. Clubs used to pay or think nothing of paying 50, 60 million pound for a player. That's just like normal. That's normal for people to do that. And I just don't see.
I think the gems are going to start costing 50 to 60 million, unfortunately.
I don't see people doing that anymore. But when people are following this new model and everyone's doing the stat-based modelling now, I just don't think, put it this way, Brighton were buying players for like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million quid and then selling them up 100 million. And then they're a prime club that's doing it. But then you've got Brentford that are buying players for peanuts as well. I just don't think you're going to be buying these players for peanuts anymore. They're going to be even rarer and rarer to get them for peanuts. For now, I think you can find players on the stats based. You can find players, but you'd be paying more than what you probably would have paid 3 or 4 years ago.
We didn't take the risk. It's like stock or anything like that. You know what I mean? We didn't take the risk when it was a new thing, when it was cheap and affordable. And so we now we're paying the price and we're not getting as good of a deal. And we're, you know what I mean? We didn't hop on the train at the beginning. It's like if you bought Bitcoin when it was brand new, you know, and you got it on the cheap. Now if you can still get Bitcoin, but it's more expensive and the gains you see aren't as high. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%, 100% there, Jose.
Because if we go stat based, who's the last player that we bought that was stat based? Really stat based. No. This season we would have bought Vicario. I would have thought on stat basis.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And Vicario, we bought Vicario for 16.5, 17 million quid.
And probably VDV. We've probably done that as well, done our stat base on him.
All right, but with Vicario,
all you have to do is check his running speed.
with Vicario, though, what I'm thinking is Vicario's on the stats and that. They said he was great, blah, 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 and we spent 17 million or whatever. When supposedly on the market at the same time was David Raya that everybody knew about, and he was supposedly worth 40 million. But we've gone on the stats, we've plummeted and paid the 17 million. And if you look on the eye test, on the stats, on absolutely everything you want to look at, first 9 games into the season, we've made the wise decision, haven't we?
Looks like it. Looks to be that way. And like you said, you pointed out that we'll still come to find out exactly how right we were end of the season and the next season. We'll really know. But yeah, so far so good. And so what you're saying is you think it's going to be rarer and rarer to find those types of gems, and people are going to start valuing them at the same price that they are as like established players because
dearer. No, I'm not going to say. I say dearer than what we could have got. So say someone like a Casado that Brighton bought him for 2 million from an Ecuadorian club.
Yeah,
they bought him 3 years ago for 2 mil. If you were to find that kind of a gem now, you're probably paying 10, 12 million at least. Is what I'm saying. I think the prices have gone up on the stat-based stuff because a lot of people are using this model now.
Yeah, they're driving the prices up.
We're back in the day when it's only Brighton and Brentford that were the ones that are using the model in the Premiership. Well, there's a lot more teams in the Premiership that are now going down that route. So it probably, to me, I'm thinking it will drive the players' values up. And I don't think people are just going to go out willy-nilly and spend big bucks on players anymore. The only people that do that are twats. And the twats that have done that this summer were Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because Arsenal went and bought Kai Havertz for 65 million. He's not worth 65 pence, let alone 65 million. So it's weird. It's weird that they've paid 65 million. And Mason Mount going to Man United 55 million. There is no way Mason Mount is 55 million. And then when we end up getting Madders, what do we get Madders for? 30, 40?
40.
Yeah.
Okay, so we paid 40 million for Maddison. And when you look at all three of them and you compare, because all three of them were signed in the same week by the three different clubs. And when you look at them, you've got to turn around and say, hands down, it doesn't matter who you support. If you take your goggles off and look at it in the plain light of day, the person that's the best deal out of the three of them is fucking James Maddison, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
And I don't know who got the worst deal, because I think they're equally as bad as each other, the other two.
Yeah. I think Arsenal just slightly edge it with Havertz. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's done fuck all, Elly, but neither has Mount. What's Mount done?
No, he's been injured a lot, but he's always injured. That's why I don't understand why they bought him. Because he's injury prone. But you know what? I was just going to say, it doesn't matter how much a player is, as long as they come to your club and they're fully committed and they play to their potential, and then they go higher. Their ceiling goes higher. Because once you come to a bigger club, you're expected to do more, aren't you? So a lot of players develop and they go up, but a lot of them fall by the wayside. And we've been buying quite a few of those lately. So I don't care what the price tag is. I want to get players that are going to play for us with all their heart and all their soul and all their skill. And develop at our club. Yeah.
So you got your mum saying that if Pierre is happy to stay and be a squad player, I'm happy to have him. He's great, just not first choice for the position on most days. I can't see him being happy being left out until called upon.
I know, because he'll be thinking of his international career as well. He's still getting picked by Denmark though, so it just shows the character of that Denmark manager. He's still picking him. So he values him, and he's done really well. I said I brought up some stats, and then I got criticism for it. All I said was he's got the most progressive passes, because I read it, 2023-24 season in the European Championships, which is a fact. That's all I said. And then
how dare you say that,
You
Elly?
know what I mean?
How dare you say that?
When I see something positive about my player that I like, it's nice to put
positivity allowed.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be positive about players that other people don't like.
Right.
Nita R's agreeing with your comments, which is basically repeating again now, but you said it earlier. She's agreeing that you're on point about Andrew only buy a player that fits into the system.
Yeah.
Ellie's a smart lady. Wayne Bonner. Patreon member Wayne Bonner. What is up, buddy? Wayne Bonner is saying, "Sup one and all. Hope you're all well and pumped for the game tomorrow. Come on, you Spurs. Today, wait, Tottenham till I die. Sorry, I can't read today."
And then you've got Beer Talk coming in saying morning
to you, my friend.
And Beer Talk says, I personally don't care how much they pay for the players. Don't see too many fan bases discussing how much players cost. As long as they obey FFP and the player has quality fitness, I'm all for it. So just to quantify Beer Talk, all I was saying about this comment was that in my belief, I think gone are the days that you're going to be going out and close paying 50, 60, 70 million at a whim on players. I was just saying, I don't think them days are much longer here, and that the route that we're taking when we're doing stat-based recruitment for players that fit systems or whatever, but stat-based, I don't think it's going to be even rarer to find gems at a cheap price. I think you're now going to pay a bit more for the ones that the rarities that you find now for stat-based. I think you're just going to pay a bit more. But I'm all for it. It's got to fit the system. Steve D says, my point is Celtic's most expensive player was 16 million. It's exciting to see what Ange can do with a budget. I'm not saying he'll want £80 million players, but he can obviously pick a player.
Yeah, if the money's made available, he can pick one.
Have a wider pool, a wider net to cast.
Yeah, I don't think Ange looks at the price. I think he looks at the player. You know, he's a very diligent man. He's looking to see if that player would be good for him in his side.
And then you've got Nita Ross saying, I had a big debate with my ex about stats and players today. I never knew players are wearing something under stripes to monitor their work rate on the pitch. Yeah, they wear it on the back. Yeah, it's mostly on the back.
It looks like a sports bra or something. It's like
they do that, but they also wear one on the back, don't they? It's just on the back of the neck. You can see there's a bulge there they wear on the back as well.
Interesting.
So every player is monitored. Sports science, every player is monitored on the pitch for their outputs, and then you've got all these new terminologies about red zones. If they believe a player's getting in the red zone, then you've got to give them a rest. You can't pick him for games and stuff like that. So they monitor absolutely everything now.
Great. I'm glad they should.
Where else are we? And again, Nita says, don't really understand the stats, but as my ex said, it's modern way of football now. I'm still old school with eyes, thank the Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
The eye test is just as important. Yeah.
Yeah. With the eye test, right?
And I'm sorry, can I just say, has Mia got this wrong? I think she mistyped this, didn't she?
Shorts?
She says, I like the bulge in the shirt. So I don't think she meant shirts. I think she got one letter wrong.
Short.
Yeah.
Then she corrected it.
She's corrected it just now, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it. They coming from Mia, it had to be, didn't it?
It had to
you know what? They knock stats, right? But everybody I know has got different eyes. Because, like, some people look at Kulu and think he's a world beater. Some people look at Kulu and think he's crap. Some people look at Højbjerg and think he's a good player. Other people think he's a crap player. So it's swings and roundabouts with your eyes as well. The stats can prove something, that a player's running, he's scoring, he's assisting, he's doing all the things that he should do. But the eyes can tell you something totally different between... Even through us three eyes, like just us three here, we've all got different opinions about players. Yeah, and we can have some similarities, but there's loads of differences as well.
Yeah.
With your eye test.
Exactly. I'm one of the few I'm one of the camp that thinks that Kulu is a good player, by the way. I think you might be in that camp too, Elly.
Kulu's like... He's another one like Marmite. People either hate him or love him. Isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So everybody, Jose has got to go. He has an appointment to go to. Everybody wish him luck at the appointment. Hopefully everything is great. Everything's fine. I said too much. Jose is just going for just regular old doctor stuff. But anyway, wish him luck at the doctor. It's never fun to go. Thanks for being on the show today, Jose. You're the man.
Jose.
Yeah, I'll say thank you everyone for joining in as per usual. You're the ones that make it, because you're the ones that put it in the chat. You're the ones that get us going. And when you get us going, we probably don't stop talking, which you probably do like, because you keep coming back day in, day out for it. I'll be back tomorrow at 4:00. We're going to do a show. I know that there's going to be plenty of people tomorrow. It just happens that we're playing tomorrow night. So we'll be doing a show tomorrow. Nothing heavy, as per usual. We'll leave all the heavy stuff to all these people that do pre-match shows that'll be doing it tomorrow. So I bid you all farewell, and have a good show. And in Tottenham, in Ange we trust, that it's come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs. Hey, have a good one, buddy. See ya.
See ya, Jose. Yeah, I was going to say,
and then there were two.
Got me all excited with her comment. Flipping
my God.
and my husband's just sitting there, so I better be careful.
Your husband's a really cool guy, and I'm glad that he but yeah, so and then there were two, right? And then there were two.
Yeah.
So Elly, we've got a match coming up. One, how do you so Crystal Palace have in the past been a team that have given us some trouble, especially at Selhurst Park, it seems like. It's a ground that I don't like playing at. I Are you at all
I know
fearful
what you
about the match?
mean. Well, we lost one game 3-0 when Nuno was in charge. That was his downfall, wasn't it? But
It was.
ever since, we either get a draw or a win. I don't know if you remember the Delhi goal at Crystal
Oh,
Palace.
how could
And
you?
we
How could
battered
you
them
not?
last year.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
absolutely crucified them last year 4-0, and then we won 1-0 at our ground. So we scored 5 and didn't let any goals in. So if we can keep that record up, but I think this game's going to be a lot tougher. Even though they've got injuries, they're quite a good team, organised. They haven't got the results that they've deserved sometimes. But I think we're going to win 3-1. That's what I'm going to stick to my guns, because I think they will score from a corner. You know that. I know Jeffrey Schlupp is injured, which I'm really happy about, because
A
he
lot of their
usually
players
pops up
are
with a
injured.
goal. Yeah, and they've got Elise out and Eze out, and that's their 2 playmakers. So let's see who steps
And
in for them.
Zaha's gone. I mean, and they have no more Zaha.
Yeah.
I know he's not exactly like the biggest threat in the world, but he's not there any longer. So
No.
yeah,
They're pretty
we've got
solid defensively, but I think we've got enough to unlock them, especially if Madders is on form. But we need him to be on form as well, because
I think he will be. He'll be up for it.
And
He's got that
Bissouma will be
edge,
back
man.
as well. I can't see him sticking with Højbjerg, because you've got to play Bissouma. He gives you so much more.
That's been a topic in the chat for sure, because we need him for Chelsea,
Yeah.
and if he gets a yellow card, you know. But
know.
we've got lots of comments here, and one thing we do on this show, Ellie, is we read every single comment, because you don't have to be a member or super chat. Your comment gets talked about and looked at on this channel. So before we get too far away, we just want to say Beer Talk, for one, earlier said he was talking to an Arsenal fan. You got to stop doing that. That's your biggest problem, I think, right there. But anyway, you can use eyes all you want, but stats will let you know if you're seeing it correctly. It's a good point. Mom says that eyes have bias. That's true. The brain's the power of do, at least. Then we've got Bobby K in the building. They let you out wherever they were locking you up, Bobby. Anyway, be good. We don't want you back in jail. He says, big up Colin, Jose, Ellie, and everyone in the chat. Then we've got Eltel Cockerell himself saying, smash the like button, as it's free and it means we are top of the league.
Yes, we are.
I don't think everyone thinks about that often enough. Then we've got everybody saying big up to Jose. Good stuff. And yeah, he is appreciative. We appreciate you, Jose. Thanks again for coming on when you had other stuff to do. Hopefully you have a wonderful day, sir. So Mia saying statistically we have a good percentage of wins against Palace.
Yes,
and yeah, sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm worried it's like the old Tottenham, but like I'm more worried about Palace than I am about Chelsea. But I could be
maybe away game. If it was at home, I think you'd be more relaxed.
I think you're 100% right.
We've got our best results away from home, haven't we?
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. The boys just seem up for it this season. I don't know exactly what it is. And hey, I don't know if you saw this on the show yesterday, but a lot of people have been talking a lot of smack, obviously, about Richarlison and his output and stuff. And I just wanted to compare it to some other players just to show you here.
Yeah, good idea.
So there's Richarlison versus I got to get the banner off the bottom real quick. So this is Haaland, or however you pronounce his name, the striker for United. Højlund, thank you. Yeah. Højlund. Appearances, obviously Richarlison's got more appearances, but he's got a goal and 3 assists, whereas when this was done he was at 0-0 in the league this season. Then we compare him to Martinelli, Arsenal. He's got same amount of goals, 1 more assist. You compare him to Marcus Rashford, he's got 2 more assists, same amount of goals. And then you compare him to Jesus, and he's got 3 more assists and the same number of goals. I mean, has he been as bad as people are saying that he's been?
You know what it is, right? That's what I'm saying about the eye test, right? Because when you watch Richie play compared to the other 4 players you put up, you think they're miles better, because they get jinking and out. They're exciting to watch. They do this, that, and the other on the ball. Whereas Richie's very pragmatic. He's not very good on the ball. He's good off the ball.
Yeah.
He's a fighter. He's a shithouser. He's a presser. You know, he does all the dirty things that doesn't get praised. Right?
Exactly. 100% right. Yes.
Yeah. But then he'll drop off and he'll do something really awful that will stand out, and everybody will remember that something awful that he did, right? And not remember all the good things that he did. So I'm not going to give Richie a bad rap because the stats show that he's doing his job as a winger. All right. So as long as he's doing that, and Angie's putting him in the team, so we've got to, if we say we're trusting in Ange, we should trust in Ange that he's putting him ahead of other players who can play on that side. All right. He's lucky in one respect because Solomon got injured. Yeah,
that might be buying him some more time. You're right. Getting him some more time on the pitch. That's a very good point.
Yeah, just wait 1 second, Colin, because my husband needs me for a sec.
Yeah, you're all good.
I'm not going to pop off. I'm just going to put my camera off.
No problem. You're all good. You're all good.
Do it though. Oh,
no problem.
But
everybody. So it just seems like maybe we're being a tad bit more harsh on Richarlison than need be, especially when played in that wide position, because he's just so good at creating. I think he's also another body that draws in defenders. He's important in that aspect. I think that Sonny's a player that it's easy to double up on. When Sonny's doubled up on, it's really hard to, obviously get him the ball, but we have another player in Richarlison that can kind of take care of that a bit.
yes,
and look who is back.
Yes.
Elly,
we got to take my cat to the vets later on.
Oh, so that's the worst.
My husband, it's 6:15, so we're cool.
Yeah. Okay.
He thinks
Good deal.
It's 5:15.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Who we got in the background?
Hey, Mr. Shoka, how are you doing today?
Woo!
You'd like to be on the show? Yeah, of course. Just 1 second, sir. All right, we've got a special treat for everybody today.
Yay.
The man, the myth, the legend, Adrian Soroka.
Yes, Adrian.
All right, how we doing?
Yeah, we're all right. I saw you got interviewed by Shawnee.
Oh, you watched it, did you?
Yeah, I did.
All right, yeah, that was after the game. Because I met.
How are those going? Yeah,
I met Chris Peters in the ground, his lovely wife, and they were cool. And
Chris Peters is a great dude. I love Chris
singing
Peters.
in the bar, like up in the bar. So they stayed afterwards, I think, but I went downstairs outside because Sean is always there early after a game. So if you wander to where them temporary toilet cubicles are, where the hotel's going to be built on the back of the south down there, he's always there.
Yeah, I've seen him there a couple of times, but he's always he's either done all the interviews and I've arrived too late. Yeah. So next time I'll try and get there. I was with my cousin anyway, so
Alex was there, Ben was there.
I had to rush back for the I was on the football terrace, so I had to rush back to be on that. Yeah.
And Henry.
How did that go? I had to go back and watch that. I didn't catch it.
Pretty good. Kate gave her £5 worth. I dug into Levy. I gave Levy a bit of jib.
Hey, there you go.
Where was that on what was that on
football terrace?
Football terrace with Terry Fleurs.
Oh right, okay.
Beer talk. So we've been talking a lot about Richarlison, Adrian, and Beer Talk says that Richie's playing a role wherever he has been in the lineup. He is a spot that needs to be upgraded. I pulled up those stats a second ago to show that compared to some other players in the league playing similar roles, he's really not that far off. But I mean, I think that an offensive player is something that we desperately need, just as bad as a defender, honestly, in my opinion. But do you think Richie's serviceable for this season? Do you think in January we could focus on other positions and keep Richie? Do you think he'll...
Our priorities lie elsewhere at present, don't they? I mean, you've got Villiers, haven't you? Yeah, you've got Decky who could move in. I mean, the thing with January is you've got a month to get deals done. If they're foreign clubs or even clubs here, if clubs are challenging for honours or in danger of relegation, they're not going to sell their best players. I've said before, I still think the best market is Italy because those clubs are still desperate for money. Yeah. And with regard to bringing a forward in, well, we haven't really solved the problem on the left wing yet because we haven't seen enough of Solomon and Ben Johnson when they're both fit. So with regards to people say, oh, we need to get another left winger in, well, on loan, yes. I would take Jota on loan, but he's on big wages because he went to Saudi Arabia, you know. So
yeah, who knows if he'd be willing to take a wage.
When the other two are on fit, if he proves better than the other two, you get rid of one of the other two, don't you? But I mean, like, other than that, you keep him.
Now we've got Brian Hill. He looked fabulous in training.
And Hill
he did. He was putting him top corner. Yeah,
and Hill as well. So we don't really need to bring another winger in, and like we've got good young wingers in that academy as well.
I see. There's a lot of people in the chat that mentioned Icardi. Do you see much of? Have you seen much of him play in Turkey?
We're not going to go for Icardi in January. If you're looking about strikers and all that, I mean, even on the right, I mean, Am's got an option now. It may be because there were rumours in the transfer window. I know we're always linked with every man and his dog in every position you can think of, and add a few more, right? But we were rumoured also to be in for a right back. Now I found that a little bit interesting. Because if it's true, Ange might have it in his mind to bring in a quality right back and save money in competition for Kulu by pushing Porro further forward. Now, that would save us a lot of money. And I think it's not a bad idea. I'm a fan of Wilfred Singo at Torino. He's like you doggy on the right, you know, but on the right. He's a tank going up and down. Dutch player, you know, he's good. He could do a good job for us, like, you know, he's powerful, you know. But I'm sure there are other quality right backs out there, so you could do that. Other than that, we really need a quality centre back, you know. And if Sessegnon again, who could play on the left wing, right? If Ange sees Sessegnon as a solution and competition for Udogie on the left, if he can get him to come good, I know a lot of fans of a Marmite on a lot of these players because they've given up on Gill and they've given up on Sessegnon, they've given up on the Celso and things like that. But Ange has proved to be a bit of a miracle worker so far. So it wouldn't surprise me if you got a tune out of one or more of them. And if Sessegnon was the answer on the left, then we concentrate and he'll know and he's got time because I think now we've got 11 games to the transfer window. So, and Bentancur's back. Will be back mid-November because he's in full training. So you've got 11 games. So barring any disasters in the team where we lose key players one or more, that would, if that happened, affect our transfers in January possibly, right? Then if our squad stays pretty fit going up to January for 11 games, we're going to be in a very good position, and I'm hoping that Johan Lang, well, Ange's name sounds like, but actually Langer it's pronounced, I think. Johan Langer, Scottman and Ange have got a list of players already because they should have. You should always be planning for the future. And I hope, because you know, other players out there, the quality players out there, everyone knows about them. I hope they've got a few under the radar. The thing is, with these players, we've been mentioning all these players right now. A lot of these players we haven't heard of last season. We won't heard them. It's like we're people fancy get him on their early season form. But early season form can be misleading, or it might not be. Right. This is why the proper due diligence has got to be done on those players. You know, you've got to do the analytics on them. You've got to scout them as well. You've got to look at them. It's no good doing the analytics on them. And part of that due diligence has all got to be like, what's the player's mental attitude like? Because we don't want no arseholes in the training ground. We don't know miserable sods. We don't want anybody, someone who's not a team player or things like that. I don't care how good they are, even if they're world class. You don't want to be in a situation where, like, you know, even if you had a Ronaldo at Man United, but he wasn't really the fit. And when he's there, like, everything's going to evolve around him, or like it does with Messi at PSG and all that. You don't want that. Ange's a team man. It's all about team play, not about prima donnas, you know. So, so interesting.
I agree.
I agree. You know, back at Galatasaray and all that, then maybe I can see it. I can see us going for a right back if Ange wants to push Porro further forward. You know, and then we haven't got to buy a right winger. Then we've got two on the right. So I don't know, because this is all speculation. You know what it is, you know, and it's hard. I mean, I watch videos of players when the stories gather legs. I'm looking for players that Now, I know people say, oh, yeah, but they're all going to look good in the videos. I know that before I go there. But I'm looking for players with vision who move the ball quickly and can make things happen if they're forwards. If the defenders, I want to see good positional play and intelligent awareness. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
looking
affect the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can actually affect the game. That's
Yeah.
what I'm actually looking for. So
Yeah.
if I see a striker's got 30 goals and he scored like 20 tap-ins from inside the box, well, if you put the ball on the plate, most of our players should put it in the net, including the
Should put it on. Should put it on. You know,
So
should put it in the net.
we're having 18.7. We got the highest amount of shots on targets in the Premier League. It's 18.7 a game, right?
Yeah.
So we should be scoring more goals, to be honest.
So, real quick, Cherie says, "Big up, guys." I just didn't want to miss that. And then we need goal scorer and wingers. Can we really rely on Johnson and Hill? And I wanted to just get that out there before we got much further.
I mean, I had doubts when we bought Johnson anyway. I still want to see more for him. He had 2 shots against Arsenal when he should have scored one of them, right?
Yeah, he should have.
Apparently, the year before in the Premier League, he did get 8 or 10 goals, I think. So he can score.
It was 8 league goals, and I think he scored 2 in the cup. So it was 10 in total, I think.
So we know he can score goals. Gill, well, we know he's fantastic. We know he can cause chaos, right? And Solomon, what we see of Solomon when he first played, he got them cameo performances on the right. He looked a tricky winger. I thought, okay, looks tricky. What else you got in your locker? And then against Burnley away, he actually had 2 assists, didn't he? So I thought, so you are the deal as a winger. I don't just like head down fast wingers who just blast the ball into the box. They don't look up, and, you know.
Lucas Moura.
Well, I'm a big fan of Kulu, but even with Kulu, right? I mean, 9 goals and 15 assists in 57 games. It's good, but fans want to see more of his debut season end product. That's what's missing. He's got the graft. He's got all the defensive skills. He's got better defensive skills than most forwards, you know.
Oh, no. 100%.
He chose to fall back 3 times in the Fulham game, but he did get in a position where Ange raged at him because he should have had a shot. Instead, he laid it off. Now that sort of hints at confidence, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like normally he would cut in and hit one, curl one in at the far post normally. So
hey, Dylan, you know the stats better than me, right? So I heard you say about Kulu's running stats, but also I'm sure you said about he's created the most chances. Is that right? Out of all the people in position?
I only see some of his stats. I mean, I'm not really I'm old school. I'm an eye test person.
Yeah, same here.
I rely on stats second because stats have so many variables, and you can bend them to suit what you like. And what happens is when you're with rival fans on and all that, they'll always produce the good stats for one of their players, but they never produce the whole list. If you're going to produce stats, you should, even for our players, whether they're good or bad, we should produce the whole list. What he's very good at, he's the best in the league I think he made more incursions into the penalty area than any other player's done, right, in his position. And he had more incursions into the close spaces, cut into the close spaces and things like that. So he is effective. It's just a question, but you've got to have someone in the box to give the ball to. He's got good vision. We know he's got a good pass on him. You know, when he moved in as a number 10 against Shakhtar Donetsk, he put that forward through ball to Harry Kane to get his 4th goal, I think it was, or something like that.
It was,
we know he can assist. He's just, I'm a big fan, but I think that was the worst.
Do
you think he's got a level up to go? Do you think he can? Do you think he can make that?
So much quality.
Be that player.
I just think. I thought that was the worst I saw of him against Fulham this season. He skinned that Cassie. I think he skinned the fullback a few times and all that. But that's all right, skinning a player. What are you going to do with the ball next? You know what I mean? So he skinned him a few times. He should have had a shot in the second half. We were wasting. We were, to be honest, that's being kind. Actually, we were crap second half. Right, worst second half performance of the season. So I think that's something like that spread a bit amongst the team. We got that second goal in a way. It was the worst thing that happened to us because one goal, you know, you're a bit more attentive. You're more on your ball.
You want to go for it more.
We got the second one, And suddenly, the tone of our play changed. We seemed to like, oh, we've got this Fulham of shit. Or they probably went at half time and thought, oh, these are crap. You know what I mean? And like, nothing to beat here. And I think something mentally happened to that team. It wasn't one, it was quite a few of them. Like, you know, having said that again, that save by Romero, the header from Paulino with that strong wrist save, that was a world class.
And you see who was
the second save was with his leg
there to clear
right
it.
far end. Huh?
You see who was there to clear the ball. Their Fulham player was coming in to tap that in. Højbjerg, my man, cleared it, and he got injured.
He played well.
Come on,
Højbjerg.
Well. He even skipped it all right when he came on.
Yeah,
this is why people say
a brilliant tackle, Skippy, and then he gave the ball away.
I don't see. Listen, Højbjerg may still have a good future at Spurs if he's happy to play the role, because in January we got a month to do deals, right? Now you can be talking to intermediaries and agents now if you're not tapping up players. Every club does it anyway, like. But you get to January and our priorities lie elsewhere. I mean, like Højbjerg and Skip, you need play when you dig in. When that second half of that season gets tough, I don't see Skip won't be going anywhere because he's homegrown. He's going to be at Spurs for years, right? Yeah. If Højbjerg goes, unless they get a good offer, and these Italian clubs ain't got no money, Juventus and all that stuff, unless you've got a great offer for him, and still I don't think Ange will say no. If we haven't got a replacement, he's not going anywhere. I see Højbjerg. I see that them 6 midfielders we've got being our midfielders going into to the end of the season. We may get loans are interesting. I love loans to buy actually, because if they ain't no good, you don't mug yourself off. You know what I mean? So true,
right? Say Benny.
I'll take Jota on loan.
If Benny comes back, right, and he's not the player he is, because I saw him in training. He is the player. He's got the touch. He's got all the skill, Benny, right? But if he comes back and he picks up another injury, who we got to replace him? There's only Basuma and Sarr. Sarr can come in, but he's not the same player. And Højbjerg can come in. Well, so we got another one. If Sarr gets injured,
Bentancur is very underrated player. One, he's quick, he beats the press, and he moves the ball quickly, and he's box to box, and he's quicker. He's quicker than Maddison and Basuma. I mean, those players are very skillful.
I don't underrate him at all. I agree.
In fact, Maddison and believe it or not, apart from Vicaro's in goal, but Maddison and Basuma are probably our 2 slowest players in that team. If you check the stats,
they're fast in the head though, aren't they?
In midfield, you don't. I mean, like in midfield, even if people worry about the ACLs, like now, what I know about ACL injuries is not much, but what I know now in modern science, I mean, when Michael Owen did his and he lost a yard of pace or whatever years ago, it's different now. They can strengthen you, get a groin strain, they can put like mesh in there, and they can make it twice as strong. It's a question if you lose your mobility or your twisting and turning ability and things like that. Pace, Bentancur, look, he doesn't have to, I hope he comes back as fast as he was, but he doesn't have to be. I mean, like, as long as the injury doesn't reoccur, I mean, it's fixed. He's in full training. He scored a nice goal in training.
What a player. I said that Bentancur's like Berbatov, but as a midfielder, because he's got the touch. He's got the swivel.
So easy.
I love him.
Agreed.
Anyway, guys, I've got to go because I've got to take my
all good.
Because he's been a bit poorly.
I actually have to go. I actually have to go as well. But real quick, but Elly, hey, it was really good seeing you, Elly. Thank you for helping out on the show today.
Because I've joined her channel now, Just the Girl Who Loves Spurs. I'm part of the channel.
All right.
And big up Talk and Ball. Come on.
Yes, thank you.
All right,
yes,
Adrian.
Appreciate you.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. See you, Elly. Adrian, real quick, I just wanted to answer Nina's question. So she's basically saying Sonny is 31 and still shining. Do you think that?
Yeah, no problem.
He's going to continue?
He can play till he's 34, 35. Sonny, now we've seen when he's unleashed, when he's playing in the right position. I mean, what's he got now? 7 goals in 9 games, right? Last year he got 6 in 17 at this stage of the season. I'm not sure how many got more games. So we show that, all right, he's been given more of a
free reign to go.
More of a free range. And Like now Kane's out the side, he is the number one. I think he thrives on it. He did before. And all he needs is pace forward. The reason I reckon Sonny can play to his 34, 35, if not longer, under an Ange system, is because Ange push the team push up in the high press. Sonny hasn't got to outpace someone from the halfway line if he's on the shoulder of defending them. All he's got to do is be quick enough to be fed inside by Maddison, even Richarlison, who give him an assist or something like that, and he'll do the job. He took that goal very well against Fulham. Like typical Son, though, you know. So no, I've got no issues with Sonny being, and he will get a new contract, and then you'll see it. And like he deserves one. He's never ever hinted about leaving this club at one time.
No, and there's a lot of people that say that if Real Madrid came calling that he would leave, but I honestly don't know if I believe that. That's tough, but he truly seems like the kind of guy that wouldn't. I don't think that Madrid have the pull that they once did, but that's an entirely different conversation. But Nita also says, real quick before I got to run, who do you think that we can get in the current market to come in and get the goals we are going to need to fix us up top? If we're going to be up at the top and stay there in the mix. I agree. So I noticed we created like 9 chances in the last match, Adrian, but we only converted 2. Do you think that, I mean, I know that you say the back is where we need to be fixed up.
Jimenez, and we're PSV, is it, or whatever, one of the Dutch clubs. But, you know, he's only been mentioned this season. He ain't been mentioned last season. If he is 26 or 27, I don't know how old he is. When it's a young player, okay, fair enough. But if he's 20, why haven't we heard of him before? Why has it taken him so long to click? You know, we've been centre backs. We're linked with the Uruguayan centre back, Caseso, whatever his name is, or something like that. But he's 5'11". I don't know nothing about him. When the stories gather legs, if the story really gathers legs coming up to January, which I don't think they will, I think there'll be more stories about us looking for defenders, if anything. But if they gather legs, I'll go and watch the few scouting reports and watch the videos. I mean, but not until then, because I know otherwise, you know, if we go and watch everyone we're linked with, who else is there's also a Stuttgart striker been mentioned. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, I heard he's doing really well this season. But again, I think it's a flash in the pan for him. I don't think that he's
same with like Jimenez. You know, I mean, like, what about the previous season? Oh, he's really come on. Oh, he's upped his game. Has he upped his game? He's in the Dutch league. We bought Matt Jansen, remember? You know, he was banging him in for fun, wasn't he, in the Eredivisie, right? And like, so like, what happened? He was a complete flop. I thought he should have been given more game time when he was here with us, to be honest. But they must have seen him. He must have looked so poor in training that it didn't bother. You know,
all he could do is hold up the ball and lay it off. He didn't really have much.
And we bought other players before that have been so good. Nkudu, NG, you know, players like that. And like
Soldado, best top, you know, third top scorer in Spain for like 3 or 4 years.
We're using data analytics now and scouting the players as well. I mean, everyone said, oh yeah, jump in, get Gift Orban last year. All right. He hasn't started nowhere near like he was last season. Right. I think he's got a few goals, but I mean, like, I don't think he's as good as that. Maybe we might go in for him because he's young. But you notice that when these players start off well, that suddenly they're a 50, 60 million player and they're like a kid. And I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that, right? Because
Jose and I were saying that,
yeah, because the price they want for that player, you can get someone who's got a bit more or a lot more proven ability. You know,
more established.
If we want a striker, if you want a proven ability striker and you're going to pay 40, 50 mil for Gift Orban, then go in for Ivan Toney, provided you do the due diligence. Now, I'd want it to know online, not so much of him as the football inside, his attitude, how's he coping with the gambling thing, right? If that's going to be an issue, then I don't want him in my club. We don't want people coming to our club that are sort of broken or got a broken spoke in the wheel. You know what I mean? We don't want that. Sure. We've had all that shit before. We bought players and they're injured. When they're fit, they do the job. And you know, under Paratici, we've got so many of these recruitment decisions right. Richarlison has got this season to prove himself. If not, he won't be going in January because one thing, no one's going to come in for him because if he isn't doing well and he ain't getting game time, no one's coming in for him anyway. So that doesn't make a bit of difference, does it? So, all right.
I don't know. Some really bottom team might come in and try to loan him.
I bet he must be a handful, and Ange must see something in him in training, you know. I mean, our only two proven forwards are that, and the only two Premier League forwards we've got that are proven are Son.
Thanks for being here, Nita. Nita's leaving. She says, thanks, all good show.
Cheers,
Nita, thanks for being here.
They're the only two, right? All the others are work in progress and all that. If you said Gill, Solomon, Johnson, you know, Villiers, 4 work in progress is there. Sessegnon possibly on the left, 5, you know. So, Richarlison is proven. Well, he got a move from Watford to Everton because he played well, but then, like, you know, he's yet to produce for us, you know. And if you can't score goals under an Ange system, you're never going to score goals because we have so many shots on target, you know.
Absolutely. This is like the place for players to score goals. And what's cool about the Ange team is how the goals are all kind of shared across everybody. I really like that. I like that, you know, we're not relying on just a Kane or a player like that to score all of our goals. So, yeah, it's very nice. Unfortunately, Adrian, I am going to have to go and get ready for work. But I really appreciate you joining in. It's been really nice having you, and we'll have to do it again some more. Like I said, one time I had a bad experience putting the link out, so I'll send it to you on WhatsApp from now on. But yeah, everything went well with that today, so we're all good. I just want
X Twitter, whatever.
Yeah, perfect. I just want to say too, I'll do this while you're here, of course. I just want to say big up to all of our Patreon members.
Yeah.
Big up to Chris Peters.
Get the podcast up and running, guys. Get your mates to come in and whatever, yeah?
Come on, everybody. So big up to Chris Peters, Wayne Bonner, Soji Forgot, and Maria Williams, our own Mia, our lovely Patreon members. If you do want to become a Patreon member, it is patreon.com/talkingball, the name of the show you are currently watching. I am one half of Talking Ball. My name's Call, and I do my show with my main man, Jose, and wonderful guests like Adrian here. We're going to be on tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m., and it'll be sort of a game preview because, of course, we've got, we've got a match tomorrow. And Crystal Palace have historically been a tough team to play against. So I'm excited to see how we do. Adrian, before we go, can I get your score prediction?
3-0 Spurs.
Wow. Okay, I'm saying 2-0. But yeah, I hope you're 100% right, and hope that
Richarlison, Son, and Kulu. Yeah.
And Vicario gets another clean sheet. I love it. Okay. Yeah. Well, sounds great.
Well, just on that for people who just Ezzy's out, Elly's out. Tompkins is out at the back for him, and Dean Henderson, the goalkeeper's out for Palace. Those 4 are not playing, right?
Yeah,
we couldn't be going there like that. Sort of gives us an edge. I think we'd beat them with them anyway. But I mean, like the fact they're not playing, I don't know. Could we? They'll probably play a low block. I don't know what they're going to do actually. But
yeah, it's tough to say. But I'm excited to see, and we will see you guys all tomorrow. And again, come on.